How's it going, guys? My name is RighteousNicky and welcome to another Overmind game. We're going to be playing on Curse Our first pick here. And this game, I remember I played Abathur. Yep. I think I actually first pick walk him right away. We have a highlighted Kerrigan here, which is also pretty nice. I'm going to ban Illidan. Not really sure why I ban Illidan though. Either because I saw that previously I have played versus someone from their team that played Illidan, or the fact that I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea why I banned Illidan here. They're going to ban the Wolves Vikings though, which is a pretty solid ban for a 3-lane map, but honestly, guys, I haven't seen anyone pick the Wolves Vikings from months here, so that's very interesting. Alright, I'm going to walk Abathur here. Now, usually you don't really want to first pick Abathur, generally ever, but this map is probably the best map for Abathur to be able to push, to be able to actually do significant siege damage, especially if you get the curse. Now they're going to go for Azmodan. Azmodan is a pretty good counter to Abathur pushing, because if you're pushing one lane, Azmodan is just going to send his armies general in your lane, and basically he wins the lane. Also, he can clear lanes much better than Abathur with his Q. And also they got a 0-2, which is also a counter to Abathur. 0-2 can roam around and hunt the Abathur as well, which is already two big counters to my Abathur. Now, them countering me actually opens the possibility for our team to pick more global heroes, and Fausted here is going to be perfect for that situation. We also got the one of the best healers possible, Malfurion. And seems the draft is going pretty well for now. Now we have a highlighted Butcher here. Butcher isn't pretty bad. Butcher is actually pretty good versus Azmodan because he's a big meat body that the Butcher can just hack away big chunks and regenerate himself. And Azmodan is immobile as well, so Butcher actually seems like a pretty good choice. They're going to ban ATC. I guess they are afraid of another global contester. I'm going to ban Brightwing because if he's going to pick the Butcher, Brightwing is going to be a very big counter to the Butcher. And actually, like Abathur plus the Butcher, attack speed and just a bit of a health sustain can really make the Butcher a very big threat. So they're going to go for Karazim and Munara. Their team seems pretty squishy there, to be honest, and considering they don't have a tank. We're going to get Muradin, which is a very solid tank as well. And they're left with the only option to counter Butcher safely, which is going to be Johanna, I guess. I think actually they didn't pick Johanna. Oh, Johanna, alright. I thought that they picked Stitches or something. So, let's see how this game is going to go. Pretty interesting game. I consider it to be the loneliest lane. I actually decided to sneak around there on the watch point, because why not get some vision there. My team is already fighting there, at least poking. Muradin is in a spot there. Actually, he revealed 0-2 maybe? No, I'm just generally building my defense on the top for now, and I'm going to be sticking on the Butcher here. Generally, early on with the Butcher, you actually don't want to be fighting at all. You want to be farming on the lane and try to get your 125 stack quest done, because the quest actually gives you so much potential. Not gives you, but unlocks so much potential to the Butcher that is unreasonable not to aim for the quest. So Butcher is playing pretty safely here, which is pretty nice. He's farming those stacks. Now Malfurion is getting a bit damage here. He did manage to root. Butcher going deep there on the 0-2. He's healing himself pretty well. With Malfurion and me up, he's going to be pretty safe. But generally 3 versus 3 that early with an Abathur wouldn't really suggest. Our middle lane isn't soaking the bottom though. Faster should be on the bottom. Now Butcher is again another charge on Karazim there. Zero 2 is also sneaking around here. I'm doing as much as I can to help the Butcher to survive. Muradin is pinging me because he thinks that I'm not helping the other lanes. And that is correct because at the moment it's 3 versus 3 on the top, so bottom lane should be fine. He wants me to deal a bit more damage and I'm going to join him now versus the Asmodan, and I think we're not going to have enough. But Muradin is taking this tower damages like a boss, but he's gonna die. Yeah, he bit overstayed there. But I guess we secured the kill. Alright, so actually it's pretty good that Malfurion is staying on the Butcher because that allows the Butcher to farm very safely. And we already have a Fausted and Muradin, which are pretty mobile characters for either of the solo lanes. So I think our positioning at the moment as heroes is perfect. The first trivia is coming up. I don't think, yeah, considering Butcher is going to be here, I don't think we're going to be contesting. And actually I was a bit pissed at the moment because I thought that Butcher wasn't going for the contest. But actually I recorded this like 2 weeks ago and I had the opportunity to play a Butcher a bit more. And I know that it's more important for the Butcher to actually soak the boots early on so he can get this quest done. And yeah, don't mind me writing here. I think I'm speaking without experience here. Yeah, and you also have an Abathur, which is pretty not cool to contest with early on the curse. So I'm at the wrong here. I shouldn't be bullshit talking at the moment. Anyway, I actually have no idea how many stacks is the Butcher. It would have been nice if you can actually see how much stacks the Butcher has as his quest. So maybe you as an opponent can start being a bit more aggressive to not allow him to complete the quest. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to try to save him because he's actually in a very tight spot here. He's going to have enough. We actually did manage to kill the Onara there, which is also fantastic. Muradin though is having a rough time here. 2 versus 1. I'm going to try to help him a bit. That Asmodan threw the ball there very strangely. Muradin just sidestepped it. Alright, we're level 7 now. I'm actually currently building for the symbiote build. I'm basically improving as much as I can for the symbiote. And be able to do as much as team damage as possible. This also, it's not only a symbiote build, but it's also the hive mind build, which we're going to be taking on the level 20 upgrade. Otherwise, for level 10, if you ever go for hive mind, always pick the monstrosity, because you want to apply pressure on a lane while you're team fighting. I've seen some people go hive mind plus ultimate evolution, which I disagree. Because if you're in ultimate evolution, you're just not able to symbiote anyone, and that removes the synergy of your entire build. So I really don't get it. Anyway, I'm just going to be soaking here on the middle, soak some experience. What else is happening? Butcher is farming pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that, and Malfurion is staying near him, so he can get to that point. Zero 2 is actually spending a lot of time on that top lane to try to kill the Butcher. But since we're going to be engaging on Karazim here, and we might have the damage, awesome. So this looks like an opportunity for us to actually get our first tribute. Zero 2 is sneaking around, but he's going to get revealed by a mine. Muradin going Rambo there to zone him out, and we're going to be able to secure this one. Level 10 is pretty close here. We are currently a bit ahead, which is always nice, but the game is pretty even at the moment. Now Butcher is going to do pretty well here. Now I'm going to go for the Evolve Monstrosity. Seems my friend is helping me soak a bit here. I'm going to help fast a bit. Now this is going to be a very interesting duo. Nerves are still from both sides, but Asmodan should have Maybe consider that 2 versus 1 was a bit too much for him, though his laser was doing a shit ton of damage there. But we did manage to out-sustain him, and that fast that at the end that shielded himself also managed to be a very, very nice change for that fight. Now, I have the monstrosity here, doing some pretty nice siege damage. I managed to kill those 2 towers. And what you want to do with monstrosity is never overextend. Now you see 2 opponents here, you want to back off. They did manage to kill me this time, but generally if you manage, I'm actually going to see a butcher who he actually was doing pretty well on himself there, but just in case. What I was trying to say is, if you have already a fed up monstrosity, like if you manage to feed him a lot of minion stacks, like let's say 40, you generally want to keep him alive, because he's pretty valuable. Now, Mofiro is going to get Void Prison here. That really sucks because he's going to get 5 men engaged. Falstad now coming through the side. Going to be able to finish the 0-2. Muradin is doing pretty nice job of tanking stuff there. I'm actually sticking up on Muradin because he's generally able to bait quite a lot. Now, Butcher actually isn't here yet. We managed to deal a lot of damage with Falstad. Now finally the Butcher decides to come. Dobunara is at the side. And now Butcher 3 versus 1 spot. I'm going to be able to build him, but he's getting wrecked from every side there. That really sucks. I think he's gonna die. Yeah. Butcher was very late to the party, unfortunately. He should have been there a bit earlier. He still hasn't gotten his quest done. I'm going to be talking a bit more here. He thought that they were going to die quicker. Oh, I'm going to dive onto 0-2 here. That really sucks. By the way, me talking here actually does make some sense. Generally, you want to actually start team fighting with the Butcher when you have your stacks up, completed the quest. But in this case, we were actually winning the tribute pretty well, 4 versus 5, and he would have been a very changing force there if he arrived earlier, and that was a very important tribute because it allowed them to actually, you know, start pushing with the curse, which you don't want them to have. Now, I'm going to spawn my monstrosity. He's actually dying pretty quickly here, but I'm going to do what I can to keep him alive. I'm going to put some mines as well for some extra minion damage. And I have the Soma Transference, which is going to be able to sustain my monstrosity pretty nicely. I actually reported the Butcher there because his last decision really pissed me off in this game, actually. I was already triggered by his lack of presence overall. Now that I look back to it, I shouldn't have been that pissed for the early game. But for this tribute, I really understand myself because that tribute was a bit more valuable than him waiting for those extra quest stacks. Because if he dies, he loses 5 stacks, which is a minion wave, which isn't that big of a deal. But that team fight, he could have won 20 stacks from him killing people and saving the curse, which would have been much more important. Now, we have a team fight here. Butcher didn't manage to land it on Johanna. We're going to have enough to finish the Johanna. Karazim wasted his ult. And the moment is 5 versus 4. Faster is going to land and disengage there. 0-2 is going to try to engage, but he's going to go out of position because his blink wasn't very close to his team. We're going to grab 2 more kills there, and this is going very well for us. I'm going to be applying a lot of pressure on this top fort as well. I'm going to go for the Envenom Spines. This talent allows your W not only to heal you, the hero that you're onto, but allows you to slow enemies around that hero or monstrosity, which enables you to kite people much easier. Now, this is a very good talent actually for the Butcher, and I'm actually going to try to duel out the Asmodan here because I felt very confident with my minion wave. I'm actually going to be able to 1 versus 1 him easily here. with the swall, catching up to him. He went a bit cocky, and now what you want to do here is get the hell out of here. You don't want to be dueling on that low HP. I'm just kiting them as best as I can. Our team is actually doing the boss, and I'm just applying pressure here, making myself being annoying. So I remove the pressure from the boss. And I'm going to go a bit cocky there on the Johanna, but I did bait it. Butcher charging on her. Butcher finally completed his quest, you can see that by the glowing weapon. And we're going to be able to finish out the Johanna. Now Fasted here did land a win. I'm going to cap count him so he feels a bit more confident to poke. Though a lot of people are going to engage on him. Now the good thing is that we actually can have is that 2 bosses? I think we secured 2 bosses and are pushing 2 bosses here, which is pretty good. That was definitely a good trade, 2 bosses for tribute. Yeah, that is a twin boss there. 0-2 is going to land a pretty nice Void Prison to secure their 4 there and manage to land some pretty nice free damage on the boss. While our team decides to stop pushing there, not to risk it. I'm just going to be soaking a bit more here so we can get level 20 earlier. Just pick there on the stand. Seems I'm doing most on everything, which is usually what you want to do with Abathur. Have presence in every aspect of the game. Now Malfurion is getting a bit out of position here. Butcher is going to peel for him. He's going to actually engage with the chain on 0-2. Going to land the kill, which is pretty nice. Malfurion burst though, allowing the Butcher to finish the Lunara there. It's 3 versus 5 at the moment. And the Butcher is sustaining himself pretty well, but 3 versus 5 was a bit too much there. Faster now incoming. I'm going to put a Monstrosity here to soak the lane while I'm team fighting here. To give us that H of level 20 soon. What else? Tribute is coming up. It's 1 versus 1. The points are 1 at 1 at the moment, so that's not big of a deal, but I'm generally trying to soak as much as I can with the Monstrosity here. Someone left the game, I don't know who he is. Now Karazim actually is a pretty good duelist for the Monstrosity, but me with a cap on it is such a big threat at the moment, especially with the improved talents. Now they're going to jump 2 versus 1, which is going to be a much bigger threat. Karazim though doesn't want to over sustain, which is pretty normal. I'm actually taking a lot of poke damage, and now with the 0-2 arriving here, I'm going to finally die. But it allowed my team to buy my team some time, not only to... Oh, it's Muradin AI, that's not cool. Well, my team should be playing safe until Butcher arrives at least. Cannot do anything about the AFK, unfortunately. I'm going to be able to soak those final experience numbers here for the level 20, and Hive Mind is a very big boost to team damage as an Abathur. It's a very strong talent. We're going to be getting close here to another team fight. Both teams secured a Mercamp, and Muradin is still AI, which isn't perfect, but yeah, we have nothing else that we can do here. Another tribute is spawning, and we have 2, so they need to contest this tribute fast. That managed to clear the middle wave pretty well, and we have level 20 now. We're sticking on this bush here, but Lunara managed to reveal us. Malfurion is a bit low, but that's not going to be that big of a deal. Now I'm going on the Butcher. The attack speed on the Butcher is going to be very well, and Void Prison though going on 2 people now. Butcher is in a very bad spot here. Though he's keeping himself alive, he's going to die though. Malfurion with the excellent ult there on 3 people, especially with an entangling roots up. We're going to manage to zone them out fast here. Malfurion securing the last tribute. There's a Mercamp with my ultimate pushing on the top, which is going to be very threatening. Asmodan here out of position. Fasted here doing a lot of damage. Karazim tried to save the Asmodan, but Fasted doing his very best there to secure a kill on Karazim. Is going to be successful. And now they're mostly dead there. Lunara did manage to kill my Monstrosity when I wasn't aware. Muradin doing some minion farming there because he's an AI. I really hope someone actually controls Muradin so he can help us push this so we can win. Mofiran going very aggressive there versus the Unara, and he's actually succeeding. Wow. We're going to be able to do tons of damage with them, especially with the Hive Mind. Everyone from their team is dead currently. I think only maybe Johanna is alive. Yep, Johanna is alive. Only I'm going to go on Mofiran because he needs some extra healing. Muradin is applying some pressure on the last four there. But it generally should be Muradin already going for the core. The curse is over. Guys. Muradin AI, not really sure what he's doing, but Falstad is helping kill this fort so the Muradin AI can actually focus on the core. We managed to get some pretty nice damage on Muradin and Mofiran. Heads. Butcher finally coming here, which is going to be pretty nice. It's 5 versus 3 for us at the moment, so we have the numbers here. Butcher is going to start doing some pretty nice damage. He has the ultimate going. Mofiran Silence going down, bursting them pretty nicely. Karazim ulti going down, but they're just pretty outnumbered at the moment. This is going to be an end here. Mofiran going extremely low though. Unara jumping on the Mofiran. Void Prison from 0 to there to actually secure some very nice moments to win the game for them, to save the game, but it's not going to be enough because Falstad came there, winded them up away. Going to have enough damage to secure the core. This is going to be victory. Oh yeah. And we got MVP. I thought this was a pretty decent game with Abathur. I generally haven't showed you Abathur from quite a while. And this is his meta build, so there's not much into it. As tactical positioning that much, it's more of a teamfight build. But again, I really wanted to show you a very nice Abathur game because I haven't shown you from a long time, and I thought this game was perfect for this opportunity. Now, I actually have only one game left from my older games that I have to show you. I think it was, I don't remember which hero I played, but it was a pretty bad game. And that's going to be the last master game I'm going to be able to show you, but it's going to be in the days ahead. But that is going to be everything from today from me, guys. So thank you for watching. And until next time, stay righteous. Just that you use it if you have combo potential. Like if you have Zarya with Graviton Surge, if you have Zeratul with Void Prison, if you have ATC, then the first ultimate is definitely a go-to ultimate because you can combo out tons of damage with it. Now I actually try to zone out Chromia a bit because she's being really annoying and no one from our team is actually dealing with her. I'm going to go actually Molten Core on their fort here to surprise with some pretty nice damage.